everybody, my name is Hira Zishan, and today I will be sharing with you my final reflection on the primary source. The primary source that I had chosen for this course was Outcast, the story of America's treatment of a Japanese American minority, which was written by Caleb Foot. The reason I chose this primary source was that because I was very interested in finding out the difficulties and the living conditions that the Japanese American were facing during World War II. To give you a little background, when the World War II started after Pearl Harbor bombing, there was a uh, presidential decision order issued, whereby about 100,000 Japanese Americans were detained in camps, and most of them had lost their homes, property, business, etc. And it was a very emotionally and physically challenging time for the Japanese as well, because they were not only considered as enemies by their homeland Japan, but also as betrayers by the US government and the US population. The first question that I am going to address is that how was the writing process for me? For me personally, the writing process was pretty simple, because it was a semester-long research project. So the entire project was done in bits and pieces. So I didn't really have to sit down at the last minute and putting together the whole research project down. So putting it into pieces really did help me with the writing process overall. Secondly, the development of your supporting points and minor thesis with all the assignments that we had been doing throughout the semester, and on our primary and secondary sources, did really help me in putting together the supporting points and the minor thesis, especially during my outline. So that was not a very difficult process either, because we had done multiple different assignments throughout the course of the projects where we were analyzing our secondary sources and the primary sources as well. The development of my historical question, well, the historical question that I was able to put together for my project, for my research project, was how was the Japanese American evacuation justified during World War II, and also was the denial of justice to the Japanese a destruction of liberty in the US? Again, this was the historical question really helped me build upon my thesis during the final writing process of the research report. So, and I believe it was a good reflection of what I was trying to capture during my the entire process of research, whereby I was trying to find out the living conditions and what was the Japanese people actually going through during that time, mentally and physically. So the other question is hardships in the research process. Well, I think the biggest hardship for me for the research project was finding a good primary source. And once I had that down, I believe the process got a lot simpler going on forward. And also choosing quality secondary sources for my research report that are not only relevant but also provide me with good information which could form the basis for further analysis. So I believe that once these two steps were done, going on forward, the process was pretty simple and easy. The next question is, what did you learn, or what are the skills that you learned from this report or the entire course? Well, I'd say that the thing that I've learned the most is differentiating between primary and secondary sources, and also how to analyze them. I think that's what the backbone of the entire course was, and it has provided me with some very critical analysis skills as well, where we're not only analyzing the primary and the secondary sources, but also coming up with rebuttals and arguments as to how we can challenge the thesis of the author, or what supporting arguments could we provide from our side. So I think these skills are very valuable going on forward into my other courses, and also I believe they're very critical skills learned during the course of my academic career. The next question is, do you now love or hate your source? I can say that I really do love my source because through this source I've been able to learn a lot about a very critical time in American history, and also because I was interested in the topic personally, finding out how even though being a democratic nation during World War II, there were decisions made at the presidential level where did greatly affected a minority in the U.S. where they did not even just lose their homes or businesses or property or wealth, but also it was a very emotionally critical and disturbing time for them. And I wanted to also understand the resettlement process that was undertaken after the restoration camps were dissolved. So I do really love my primary source for these reasons because it was a really good learning experience for me. I think that's about it, and thank you very much.